Abdul Carter, number 1 overall, well, projected to be one of the top 2 or 3 picks, but could be the number 1 overall pick, is now injured and may require surgery, which means that the top 10's kind of potentially jostled around a little bit. I don't think he could fall that far. If there is some sort of surgery needed on his potential foot injury, which he has a stress fracture according to Ian Rappaport, a stress fracture in his foot may require surgery. Option 1 would be to have preemptive surgery and have a screw inserted in his foot. Never a good thing for a team investing that number 1, number 2, number 3 overall draft capital in you. But at some point, you're going to take him. This is not a player that can fall down to the 10 overall, selection. But it certainly mixes up that top 3, and that's where we're expecting Abdul Carter to potentially grab one of these Tennessee Cleveland spots so that the Giants could get really lucky and fortunate to get one of the 2 QBs. This may throw a monkey wrench into the situation, and now the Giants might be clamoring, and it also throws a little bit of a wrench in the plans of, let's say, the Rams looking to trade, because now the number 3 has potentially more value, because now Carter could be there. Or you could say the number 3 pick has less value because now the top 2 quarterbacks might land. It's chaos. It's exactly like the title. It's complete chaos. We're at it's a guessing game. We'll break it all down real quickly, and then we'll get into a draft. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Shift After Dark show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
I mean, wow. What a potential, blender type of situation we got here in that top 3 or 4. I don't think Abdul Carter could fall, even with surgery needed, even with, it might be better for his career to have the surgery now, but it might be better for his draft stock to pretend like it's going to be okay, wait until he gets drafted, and then all of a sudden we hear a announcement a week after the NFL draft that Abdul Carter is going to elect to have the surgery. But you play a song and a dance here type of game with this NFL draft stuff. So, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see who thinks he could fall really far. Abdul Carter wants to be an Eagle. Stop. Emmanuel, just stop getting ridiculous, bro. He's not falling down the draft that far. I have the top 18 overall on screen here. Do you see the Eagles anywhere near? Come on, man. It's like the Niner fans are wild too, because they think initially I've been looking at posts, and initially the Niner fans are getting amped up right now. I don't think he's falling past the 5 or 6 even if he fell there, and I don't even think he's falling there. So maybe he goes 2 because of this. Maybe the Titans, who are gonna maybe go Abdul Carter, now go Travis Hunter or a quarterback. He could go 2. I highly doubt he makes it past, let's just say 5. But Emmanuel, wishful thinking is right. The Eagles or the Chiefs are perfect landing spots for him. He's got a lot of life and gas left in the tank. It's just it's a hairline fracture, which is not good. You never want this kind of thing. But that's funny. I don't know what this does. Like I said, I'm spitballing it. A lot of times I go live before I digest the little thing. You're getting a true live impromptu reaction from me almost anytime breaking news happens. And my initial gut was, I started to say it, that maybe the number 3 overall pick either loses a lot of value or gains a lot of value in the eyes of the Rams, who are potentially trying to go after it. So if someone says, look, the quarterbacks are a lot less likely to be there now because you're taking the potential number 1 overall player and saying that this is in flux here, you might have the Rams talking the Giants into making this trade because the value might have taken a small hit. Or, again spitballing it, I don't know, maybe if you're the Rams or the Giants and you say to the Rams, look, you might get Abdul Carter now. Like, price just went up. Like, you don't know. You don't know what everyone's going to think. Everyone's playing a game anyway. It's smoke and mirrors. It's called smoke season for a reason. I don't know that it mixes up any more than the top 5. But it's certainly, this throws a wrench in the idea that we can game plan the quarterback landing spots. Because the New York Giants are the number 1 spot we want one of these rookie quarterbacks to land with, unless they get Justin Fields. And that might, this is where it's crazy. It's like, what kind of snowball effect could this have? Does this have the Giants now go toward Justin Fields? Do we find out tomorrow that the Giants are really interested in Justin Fields? Is that tomorrow's news? Did we hear tomorrow that Darnold or Justin Fields are now in the mix for the Giants, and, more so than anybody speculated, and all of a sudden we're sitting here talking about the New York Giants going after Fields or Darnold tomorrow? That's kind of the way this stuff works, because now you throw another variable in play, a very dangerous variable, where Abdul Carter might take these quarterbacks out of play for the Giants at 3. You hear different things. Crazy though, these we haven't heard a lot of injury news or anything relating to some of these prospects. So this is kind of the first overall pick potential player right here getting hit with an injury. Wow. Well, we'll talk about this in the phone lines tonight. We'll also dive into a draft. So if you want to partake in a draft, hit this link right here, and we will jump straight into a draft. This is the Underdog link. This will insert code Smitty for you. Code Smitty will then get you up to $1,000 in bonus credit, and they'll match your first deposit 50% up to that $1,000 of bonus credit. So if you drop the $10 minimum, they'll give you $5. You drop $100, they'll give you $50, etc., while it lasts. So make sure you race on over and do it. Let's get straight into let's do a $3 little board. So head on over to the Underdog app. Open up the draft tab at the bottom. You're going to have the lobby tab selected out of the active and lobby tabs. And then you're going to have the home tab selected. You can actually go straight to NFL, and then it'll show you the 4 NFL ones. It's a little quicker. And then click the little board, $3, which is the second option. In 5 seconds, we're going to click the green button. Jump in. They fill quickly. And if you don't get into the draft that I'm in, don't worry about it. Don't fret. Don't get upset. All right. Hit the let's go. Let me put this on screen here. Drafts active. Little board starts in 30 seconds. Let me throw this over on the screen over here, and let's get to it. All right, phone lines are open if you guys want to dial in. Phone lines are open. Dial in. Call
into the show. Call into the show.
As you can see, I'm not the first pick. I'm not the second. I'm not the third. Not the fourth. Not the fifth. I am number 7, which is okay. Haven't drafted a lot from 7, so this will be kind of entertaining. Jamar Chase goes number 1. Phone lines are open. Travis, you're live.
Okay. Yeah, so I think, like you said, he probably stays top 5, 6. I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 at the worst, but it does make it interesting in terms of, like, if a team just doesn't want to, especially if he doesn't get surgery, where it's still kind of an open thing, teams may not want to deal with it. So that could set up for, someone coming in and jumping in, trying to trade up and grab him. So, and another team that's not so comfortable trading out. And I think that's where the most interesting thing would be is if he doesn't have surgery.
Yeah.
Because it's more like, is this going to pop back up because he didn't have surgery?
Drew Rosenhaus is his agent, and that guy, if his client passed away the night before, he'd sell a team on him and be like, he's coming in strong. Drew Rosenhaus is the definition of I want to say like snake oil. Well, yeah, I do. But I also want to say like he's good at what he does too. Like I don't mean it in such a negative way. But let's go Lamb. Let's go. I'm gonna go Lamb in this one. I've been going Nabers a lot, but A, I don't want to mess with his ADP. B, I need a couple Lamb chop teams, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my advantage of getting Lamb at 7 and 6 and 8 as much as I can, and getting Nabers at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've been getting Nabers all up and down the second half of the first round, so no problem doing a Lamb-based team here. Malik Nabers went to Game, who obviously is one of our people, because Nabers is going around 10, 11. So Nabers is a steal. He's an absolute steal. I'm on Raw. On the clock is Deshaun, who takes Devon Achane. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, that's the problem with today's NFL draft and media and social media and the culture right now at the Combine and in NFL draft news. It's like, come on, man. Like, if surgery's the best option, just do it. You know, don't try and play this game and then you stretch it out another, you know, it's going to be a month by the time we're, you know, you could have surgery now. Maybe he will, though. Maybe he'll get the right advice. Drew Rosenhaus tells him to just, I'll take care of this for now. Let's see what's what. And they might just really be looking at the details of this thing, second opinions, figure out what the best course of action is. And if he has surgery now, he could go into the draft going, I'm already on top of it. In, you know, X number of weeks, I'll be running. It'll be fine. You know, whereas if you went in with ambiguity, the team might be saying, well, you're probably going to need surgery and we're not going to, you know, whatever. But if you already had it and the NFL draft occurs, it's already done. It's already over. You know, kind of similar to, like, think about one time, Saquon Barkley. I remember I was building this studio, and I did a live stream in my kitchen area. And I remember Saquon Barkley tore his ACL, and I remember people came in, they're like, he'll never be the same. And when the injury's still there, it's really, really a downer. You can't think positive. Like, it holds you back from truly believing the player is gonna, you know, rebound 100%. And then, so you got to get through that surgery part before you start getting optimistic again. I think the same thing happens to NFL teams. They're gonna look at this a lot different if he's already had surgery. Real quickly. On the clock, Christian McCaffrey. I haven't taken him at any. Or do I go JT? Or do I go Tyreek? 6 seconds.
Christian McCaffrey.
Let's try it in one draft.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel good.
I'm thinking. Give it a shot.
It doesn't feel good. It stings.
No, it doesn't.
Travis, you steered me wrong. It burns.
He said quick, and I said,
you know,
you gotta take him in one.
I need to have him. Yes, and I preach it very much. You need to have him in a couple drafts, like one out of at least 100. You need to have Christian McCaffrey in one, just in case the thing goes in a solid direction. Just in case. I almost want to vomit, but you know, it's best ball. I would never,
it's a horrible
ever.
Feeling,
yeah. I would never take him in a non-best ball in the second round because you can't control anything. But like here, he starts for me when he plays good, and then if I got a you know, a rookie running back that's popping off in week 8, they start for you automatically. You don't have to make any decisions. Optimal scoring, your top scorers start for you. So I need to have him in at least one league, but it did not.
And if there was, you know, like a younger player, or if you had named a different player besides JT and Tyreek, I would have went away from him. But I figured, okay, you're deciding between two guys with question marks, and then JT, well, you know, he's had injuries.
Here's the problem, though. Like,
I figured that's a place to take him, maybe.
Here's the problem, though. Do I want Bucky over him? Yes, but Bucky's ADP is so much further down. You kind of play that ADP game. We're drafting with a bunch of like-minded people, so Bucky's not going to be there. Breece Hall already got taken when he normally falls. So, like, I don't know that you could take Bucky there and it would make sense, but I don't know if I want to show people that path, because you really don't want. You want to try and take advantage of getting these guys, but like Bucky, Breece Hall, they're already gone. But at the end of the day, would I rather have Bucky than Christian McCaffrey? Yeah, I would. I really would. And I would normally, if I was in a vacuum and this is one draft, I would take him. I would take Bucky. I wouldn't wait on it. I would just do it. But because we're playing best ball and I do want a variety of different players, we're gonna go ahead and smash. The. Oh, did I get Kyron? Let's see here. McBride. Yeah, Kyron's there. He normally is here, but in our community, he doesn't really fall. McBride's nice. Josh Allen's nice. Lamar's nice. I'm going to go ahead and go Kyron here. And so my team is Lamb, McCaffrey, Kyron. Feels pretty good. As long as I cuff CMC, or even I don't even have to cuff him to his backups, but cuff him in best ball in a sense. Cuff him to high upside rookies or high upside RBs that can take over mid-season in case, McCaffrey goes awry. I don't mind it. It definitely not easy to see McCaffrey there in the second round, but the thing that makes me it's just wild to me is that the people that defend McCaffrey as if it's going to be okay. They're always Niner fans or something, but it's like, he can be fine. They said he's going to be fine. Like, what are you doing? What news are you looking at? What do you mean he's going to be fine? He's definitely, if he's going to be fine, if McCaffrey's full go week 1, he's breaking by midseason. Very, very latest. If he's held back, then he's not McCaffrey,
Yeah.
So it's like it's a catch-22, double-edged sword.
If he ever came back full go, like and kept it going, the entire NFL would be going over to Germany, to whatever.
Oh yeah, and that's the only reason.
It'd be a miracle.
That's the only reason you take him in 1 out of 20, 100 drafts, or 1 out of 40, 1 out of 20, whatever. Definitely not more than, I would say not more than like 4% of your drafts or something like that. But just because the value's so high, like if you look around, you JT, like I said, Bucky, Brees, I don't know. It's just right here was like the perfect spot to try it.
Well, and then, like you said, with best ball, you can, if you're confident in your drafting that you're going to hit on some later picks, you can get away with half a season of good games.
Yeah, and
if you can fill out the rest.
And it's more about this. It's like, so CMC in best ball, and again, if he tears an Achilles in the middle of the 4th game, if he has a lesser game than one of the other players, the other player gets started for you. So anybody who doesn't know best ball too well, that's how it operates. Real quickly, let me go JD5 here. So if CMC, let's say, gets injured in the middle of call it week 7. In the middle of week 7, he tears his Achilles tendon, and so weeks 1 through 6, he's RB3. Let's just say, and then you have a running back like Tank Bigsby, who is kind of nothing in weeks 1 through 6. But like, let's say week 8 through 17, he plays like RB7. Well, this combined number might be RB4 overall. And so best ball, it's the perfect way, to assume that, okay, if McCaffrey does maybe have half a year, a quarter of a year of his old self mixed with another player I draft, a sleeper, you're going to sum total get an amazing running back number. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey's he's a tough player to buy in non-best ball where you can't play that game. You're essentially screwed in that week 4 game or week 7 game, did I say, where he tears his Achilles and you started him. And so not only that, but you're potentially going to have to juggle players, and maybe you call the wrong guy each week. You like Bigsby, you didn't start him, and then he goes nuts for 2 weeks, and you don't believe it till the 3rd week, and then you just end up throwing the towel in on the season. So Christian McCaffrey, very good, not say very good. He's a good player to take a chance on in a very small number of leagues in best ball. I would say avoid him in all non-best ball. And if anybody thinks I'm crazy, I said it last year, and it saved you if you avoided him. Because I said don't draft him at all last year. All right, here we go. So my team so far, I like CD, Christian McCaffrey. I almost wish I didn't try this in this league, though, because I really like the JD, Kyron, and CD. But it's still a good team. And, I'm hoping that in this case, McCaffrey does do well. Let's see. Players that are available. Rasheed Rice, DK, Adams, Kittle, Addison, Waddle, Olave, Kamara, Pickens, Hampton, Laporta, Montgomery. Kind of gets a little thin here. Adams just went. Who do you like here next, Travis?
I mean, I like Rasheed and DK if you're looking for a receiver.
Rasheed just went. Damn, Rice just went. What's up, Sick Nasty? Dial in, guys. Phones are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Brought to you by the Attic.shop. The phone line. Dial in. The Attic.shop. Go get yourself a hoodie. Godzilla versus the Thing, or Spider, or Reptilicus. One of your scary hoodies from the Attic.shop. Awesome company. I beg them back every year. I truly do. I've had like sports apparel offers, and I always say, let me check with the Attic, because I'd rather have the Attic back. I know you guys might think that's crazy. I'm a sports channel, but I love the Attic. Go check them out. Tell them I sent you. All right. Laporta went. Kittle went. Rasheed Rice went. Adams. Kenneth Walker. I'm hoping DK falls. Jordan Addison. Okay. So I like this here. DK's there. Waddle's there. Olave's there. I'm probably going to roll with DK because I think DK as your 5th or 6th drafted player is money. CeeDee Lamb, DK, very formidable 1 and 2 to go along with CMC, Kyron, and JD5. I'm loving it. Sick Nasty says he ordered a Godzilla a few weeks ago. That's amazing. You got JD. Who said that? Tebow says he got JD5 at the 43. Okay, that's the pick right after mine. That's nice. These teams so far, team on the end: Ashton Genty, Drake London, James Cook, and Jameson Williams. I like it, but something about the combo of James Cook and Jameson make that team feel like it's not as stacked as maybe 1 or 2 of these other teams. Not that it's not good enough. Puka, Nico, Evans, Zay Flowers, Waddle. This is a wide receiver happy guy right here. Jeez. I don't know how I'm going to like his team. Let's just see what he does with his RBs. But usually this approach makes me throw up. Got another receiver. But Smitty, the wide receiver, Smitty. All right, Devon Achane, Henry, DJ Moore, Lamar, Sutton, and Connor on the clock. Trevion Henderson's a good pick. I don't mind that at all. That was a good snag. Let's see here. God, I'm tempted. So I've got DK. Yeah, I'm going to go Godwin here. So Lamb, DK, and Godwin. JD5, Kyron, and McCaffrey. Pretty solid. Brian Thomas Jr., JT, MHJ, Burrow, Addison, Caleb Johnson. We got Gibbs, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, Devontae Smith, Laporta, and on the clock. Team before that, JJ, McConkey, JSN, Chuba, and Kittle. Team from the 3 spot has Saquon, McLaurin, Garrett Wilson, Tet McMillan, and Rasheed Rice. Team 2 has Bijan, Breece Hall, Tyreek, Roma Dunze, and Adams. Roma Dunze is so high. I like him, but I don't know about that pick. I like him a lot. It's hard to say. Jamar Chase.
Roma Dunze?
Yeah, just in the 4th round. I mean, it's the end of the 4th.
Yeah.
That's a hard 4th
I
drafted
think
player.
Get the targets, but
Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, Bucky, Joe Mixon, and Kenneth Walker. That's all RBs right there. Jeez. I haven't seen that in a long time in best ball. Somebody drops their backup 4th running back. Their backup running back, so they're starting running back at the flex before they grab receivers. But kind of worked out for them because Debo and Shakir are pretty good. So not bad. Jacobs, Bucky, Joe Mixon, Kenneth Walker, Jamar Chase, Debo, Shakir. I like it. Not bad. He recovered well, but that's definitely wild. Tyrone Tracy. Then it went Juwan Jennings. All right, I'm getting close to being on the clock here. Not loving these wide receivers. I think I'm probably going to go. Jalen McMillan's so hard to gauge right now because Godwin comes back. It's a whole different ballgame, and Godwin seems 90% chance of coming back. For me, geez. I guess I'm going to go Jonnu here. I don't know why he's so disrespected right now. His ADP is ridiculous. So his ADP is 93. I took him at 79, but I had to go all the way down and back, and I just don't understand. Like, even this 79 pick that I just spent on him, I feel is undervaluing him. So I don't really get.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get the hate.
The offense should get better. You would think, and he should still have a spot on it.
You should have went Pacheco. No thanks, Emmanuel. I'll tell you what, Emmanuel, I won't even take Pacheco the next time around. That's how much we disagree on that one.
Yeah, I've learned enough about the Chiefs running back situation. Like you always talk about, I'm kind of scared off that spot for now anyway, taking anyone too early.
Yeah, no thank you. Pacheco for the streets, says Sim Valley. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Jonnu. Why people don't like him. I mean, they bring in Bobby Slowick. They're going to throw a little bit more in more efficient ways. I don't get it at all. I like it. I felt like I was even doing a bad job of taking him that early. Okay, I'm on the clock here. Let's go Travis Etienne. So my team so far, JD5, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, Travis Etienne, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Jonnu. It's pretty good. Mark Andrews just went. Pacheco for the streets. He, very talented guy, but he runs so aggressive and he's always banged up. And he plays for a team that has had a historical issue with committing to a RB in the draft. Happy to be here. Thank you, EOT. So, Travis, what's the furthest you think that Abdul Carter falls, if you had to guess right now, knowing everything you know right now? Where do you think he goes?
So looking at the teams, off the top of my head, I would say I don't think he falls past 6, 7, 8. But because I don't know. I mean, if he falls out of the top 5, one of Vegas, the Jets, or Carolina, I would think would jump at the chance to get a defensive anchor like that, because they can all use some help. I mean, maybe the Jets defense is still decent, but
you think the Patriots would even pass on him at 4?
It's so hard to know what they're going to do. I'm completely torn on what they're going to do. I think there's a real possibility they would take him, but I think it's more important to fix the offense right now. We'll see, though. I mean, Vrabel's a defensive guy. I wonder if they could maybe try to, what's his name, the linebacker from Tennessee, was it Landry? Might be available, and so maybe they try to do it that way. But to me, I'm focusing on Drake May this year. I'll figure out the defense and make picks other places, but I'm getting Drake May the weapons he needs and fixing the offensive line where I can.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, let me know if you're picking, and I'll wait.
Let me answer this one here, and then JD5, Hampton, Judkins, Lamb, McConkey. I don't know. Tebow, you and I draft completely different. You go 0 RB a lot. You go but you do it so much though. You don't do a lot of best player available. You do a lot of strategy of going wide receiver heavy, and I'm not necessarily against it when the best player available falls properly, but I don't do a lot of those drafts. I don't mind the team, but I think Lab McConkey a little early for that approach for me. To add Lad McConkey, who I like a lot, but as your early second drafted player, like when people take him at 15, 14 overall, I'm not saying he can't earn that, but you mix that with a 0 RB approach, it's like it just seems a little thin. But you're very much never draft RBs. Like I see your drafts a lot. I'm more balanced than that. So my answer is always going to probably be a little bit more toward I feel like it could look a little different. I'm all about balance when you can do it balanced, like JD5. We both have JD5. Christian McCaffrey, Kyron, ETN, Bigsby, Cuffed, Charbonnet. I like this running stable a lot. Wide receivers, CD Lamb, DK, Godwin, Jonnu. I mean, this feels like the most balanced team. I almost wish I didn't do the McCaffrey pick here. I just don't know what would have made JT. Yeah, probably made it.
Yeah, probably. Because at the time you said CMC, Tyreek, or JT.
Yeah,
so putting it with that team, I think JT would have been better.
I rarely ever take. I'm a avoid McCaffrey guy, pretty much there.
Me too, which I don't even know why I said it, because I never take McCaffrey, but I think I was just like, oh, what the hell.
I want to have enough team. Like, I haven't been drafting really any, so I needed this to be one of them, or I won't probably do it.
You should make a note on that team, and if McCaffrey costs you a bunch of money, we can blame it on me.
Or if McCaffrey wins it all, we can celebrate it.
That's true.
Like, I was wrong on McCaffrey, but guess what? I don't care. I'm rich. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
What were you going to say, Travis? You said you were going to ask something else.
Oh, yeah, just talking about like our 8 p.m. show where you were talking about Stafford and landing places. I know he would obviously be awesome for Nabers in the short term, but when you have a guy like a Nabers, do you prefer he gets a...
What? You cut out there, Travis. Travis?
Nope.
All right, call back. I don't know what happened though. Let's see here. On deck. On deck. Need a receiver. What's up, Tyler? You're live.
Hey, I'm going to make this fast because you covered this subject on an earlier show. I just want to take a quick poll. If Rodgers actually goes to the Rams, who really thinks that Puka and Kyron are actually going to benefit instead of dwindle in value all year?
Well, I mean, I talked about this at the earlier show, so you don't need to take a poll. You could just rewatch the 8 p.m. show. But, because that's all it was about, essentially. But what I said, if you need a recap, is that if Stafford leaves, Puka drops off enough to, in my opinion, send him into round 2. I think Puka, like any receiver, Tyler, that's a good receiver, he could still survive with Aaron Rodgers. But he's not going to be 4 or 5 or 6 overall, which is where he's getting taken right now. So, but to think he's going to, become a nothing burger, that's also a ridiculous take, He's certainly not going to vanish from the earth, bro. But he will have cost a lot of people about a round in value if he ends up seeing, let's say, like the only time he would drop even out of round 2 for me would be like if Jimmy Garoppolo were the starter, which has been mentioned in news. Jimmy Garoppolo will not turn Puka Nacua into a stud. Jimmy Garoppolo is garbage. But I don't think McVay's going to do that. I think it's posturing. I think it's more so like that's more of a posture toward the Stafford situation than it is anything else. Here's a guy that knows the system. He's been there. And so Stafford, needs to know that we would move on or whatever. But it's like I said, I covered this at the 8 p.m. show. If Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback in LA in 2025, Puka Nacua drops into the second round for me. I get back in that territory, but if he didn't drop into the second round, I'm not touching Puka in 2025. I've also talked about how Puka Nacua is one of the most likely to be most injury-prone players that gets drafted inside the top 15 overall because of his style of play. So he's a tough player to gauge.
True, exactly. I guess the question would be, I have dynasty questions that like everybody's sending me saying, I'll trade you Puka and give me AJ Brown. Or Puka and you give me Garrett Wilson.
I would
and I'm thinking, well, if Rodgers is the new QB, not a chance.
Well, but here's the thing in Dynasty, if Stafford's still the QB, what's Puka's Dynasty value with Stafford? Because Stafford doesn't have like a lot of time left. He's played like 17 years in the league. I think 16 years. This will be year 17, I believe. He's played a lot of years in this league, and I don't know. I'm very much somebody that likes to sell high on Puka in Dynasty because I don't see how he's going to maintain the current value that he has right now with Stafford gone. If Stafford leaves in any way next year by injury, by decline, but I certainly wouldn't go after AJ Brown. The value's higher. Fair market value for Puka in Dynasty is higher than AJ Brown by a country mile because AJ Brown's an older player with a lot of knee issues. I think Garrett Wilson's a little closer, but the fair market value right now, as it stands right now, you can get way more for Puka Nacua. So do I run away from a Garrett Wilson concept? No, but you need to add a lot more to the trade. People are trying to take advantage of you on that, but I certainly don't.
Would you do Wilson in the first?
I mean, yeah, I'd probably consider that. I like Garrett Wilson a lot, but his situation is still ambiguous as well. But I do believe they solved that in time. I don't know if it'll be this year. I hope it is this year. I'm a little bit concerned. I love Aaron Glenn. I love how he's going to get back to the run, and I think it's going to be a good balanced attack. I'm just a little bit concerned, a little bit scared that Aaron Glenn will pull Antonio Pierce and miss quarterback entirely, and then it's Tyrod Taylor. They think they're on top of the quarterback market values. They miss out on free agency. They miss out on Fields. They miss out on quarterbacks falling to them, and then all of a sudden the Jets have nobody to throw Garrett Wilson the football. But I just think at the end of the day, try and get way more for Puka. And don't throw don't throw Puka away as if this is a all said and done thing. Like Stafford could return, but I think you got to entertain the right offers. The right offer for me, let me tell you how you trade Puka Nacua. You don't trade down, trade up. Trade Puka Nacua and something and go get Nabers on the cheap before Nabers explodes. Go get BT. The best way to trade a player like this is to trade up. That means you're giving up more, but you're getting into more security. You start trading down. Let me go find someone lower. Maybe Garrett Wilson can get there. Maybe AJ Brown and something's worth it. Maybe I'll go get this and you end up falling behind. Go trade upward.
Thanks for the clarification.
All right, later, Tyler.
That's it.
All right, on the clock real quickly. Who am I taking? I guess Evan Ingram, sure. Kind of lost track of where I'm at with my team. Matt says I traded Godwin and Hawkinson for BT. Is that an approve? Yes, that's an approve. Great job, Matt. That's smashing your league mate into pieces. JD5, Penix Jr., Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, ETN, Charbonnet, Bigsby, Corum, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Jonas Smith, Evan Ingram. Go ahead, Travis.
I was just going to say, in terms of Rodgers, I know, like, it was a mess of a season and all that, but, like, Garrett Wilson was still the wide receiver 10, and I know that's cumulative over the full season. And Devontae Adams ended up being the wide receiver 11 the last 6-7 weeks. Adams was awesome, too. So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers can still produce a good wide receiver if he's in the right spot. And, but my question before my phone cut out was, would you rather Stafford with Nabers for 2 years and then you have to worry about him starting over, with another quarterback, or would you prefer like a Fields and he just gets in there and, hopefully has him for the next 5 years, or a rookie that
I don't know
is going to develop with him?
I think Stafford's got 2 years left max. I know it's not what people want to hear, and even as a Nabers fan, I wish it was longer. I just don't think Stafford can go out there and be like, first of all, he's contemplated retirement several times already. And number two, he's been such an injury-prone player that he does play through it, but at some point he's not going to be able to. He's had a broken back. He gets leveled. He's had like dislocated shoulders and arms that he's played on and continued to play the game, which is, you admire it, but it's certainly something that potentially could have him, have long-term damage that you can't really, measure right now, but later on it's going to hurt. Like the longevity of Stafford has been hampered by his willingness to play injured. I just, I think that you take it year to year, the honest truth. Kind of like when I say in Dynasty, don't play too far into the future or you'll be playing for second place. Right, if you want all 24-year-old players in your team or under, you're going to be playing for second place. And so if I have an opportunity to give Malik Nabers, Matthew Stafford for even a year and a half to 2 years, I think I just hit that button and say, screw it. They could stumble upon the next elite quarterback that actually puts Stafford on the bench. Who knows how it all unfolds. But, that's Stafford over like a rookie, I think. I might want Fields over Stafford, maybe, just because you get the now and the potential future that I think Stafford, and people disagree with me, but I don't care. I think you can fix Justin Fields. I just don't know if Fields is the right quarterback for McVay in his system, so I don't know. It could be. McVay's adaptable.
Well, that would be the Giants. Dayball. It would be Dayball.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking Rams all of a sudden.
Yep.
For Puka, we were talking about Puka.
Just because, like,
Daboll is perfect for Fields because Daboll could fix him. Daboll's a quarterback whisperer, whereas McVay. Sorry, I don't know why I got back on the Rams. McVay, I don't think he's a good fit for McVay, but you never know. McVay could adapt, but hard to say. Nabers would get fed, for a year or two, and it'd be. I mean, what you see out of Puka Nacua, and what you see out of Cooper Kupp, like I said on the 8 p.m. show, Cooper Kupp was not as good as everyone thought he was. It was a mixture of him having a lot of good talent, mixed with McVay, mixed with Stafford. That there's a reason why he thrived, and
that might be a risk that's worth taking for the Giants. And I guess just on the devil's advocate side of it, it's like, wouldn't that be such a shine box move to give up the number 3 pick? I know he'd get something back, but to bring in Stafford and then give him $50 million a year on top of it, and it just all burns.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, what's better? Fields, not for free. He's going to cost you money, but there's no draft capital. And I'm not saying I want this because I don't want Nabers to have this kind of competition. But if you're the coach and you could get Ted McMillan, you get Ted McMillan and you bring in Fields. How is that not better than Stafford? Or even if you had the balls to take Ashton Genty, which I would. If I was the coach,
Yeah.
would I trade down?
That would
Maybe,
be
maybe
awesome.
not. Maybe I wouldn't even trade down from 3 because who knows? Look at how high Gibbs went when no one thought Gibbs was going to go as high as he went. Who the hell knows? I'm not taking the chance. If it's me, you give me Nabers, Fields, and Genty, I give you a championship game appearance, at least a showing in the championship game within 2 calendar years. And maybe they lose because of defense, because they're still building it up. Who knows? But I give you a showing in the championship game in 2 calendar years if you give me Genty and Fields to go with Nabers. Sometimes I feel like these GMs don't know anything about football. It's just...
Tebow said in the chat, hopefully they'll have Hard Knocks again to get it on film. But if I was the owner of the Giants, I would never let cameras near Shine Box again in my life.
Yeah,
that's the way that debacle went down.
Tebow, I saw your comment saying, how is your team not balanced? It's not that I said your team wasn't balanced by numbers, like you drafted 4 or 5 or 6 running backs. I'm saying you have a 0 RB approach practically going here through round 5 or 6. That is not a balanced approach through your draft. I think you're confused on what I mean by balance. Balance is drafting as you draft through the earlier rounds. You're balancing it out. You're literally doing a 0 RB. Doesn't matter at the end that you have balance on the team. That's not the definition of a balanced team. I'm not talking about numbers of how many RBs. I'm talking about who cares what RB is if it means if they're going to get you a 0, they're going to get you 20 points or 50 points. I could care less how many numbers you have. But we just think differently. Like, you are very, very much avoid RB. I'm very, very much not avoid RB. So my point was asking me how I like your team. If you're going to constantly stack it like that, I'm probably going to give you bad scores because I don't believe in going 0 RB that often. If best player available allows it, I will, but Genty is Adrian Peterson 2.0. He sure is, Shane, but you might want to start spelling his name right if you're going to try and tout the man. Okay, Shane, put some respect on his damn name.
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so large.
Jaunty's going to be Adrian Peterson. I read it somewhere. I'm just kidding with you, bro. Kinda.
I know we've kind of beat this dead horse, but in the chat, people saying Fields, the ceiling for Fields is a Geno Smith or a Tyrod Taylor.
No, it's not.
I just don't get that. In terms, if you're talking just ceiling, it's far better than that.
Anybody that says that, no
Neither
offense.
of those guys run a lot either.
No offense to who said it. I'm not trying to rip on you or anything, but anybody that says that is literally on a different page, and they're judging him. Hold on, let me make I hate this pick, but I wanted to get a third QB. Anybody that says Fields is, he's a Goff or he can never be anything better than whatever you just said, they're on a different page. Like, it's almost like two political parties, and then you start an argument.
Yeah, good point.
You're both on completely different pages. You either believe Fields is broken and can be fixed and his outcome is going to look different, or you believe you've seen everything that Fields can be. And that's what so like having an argument with an anti-Fields person is, it's just it's a waste of time, because like comments like this, no offense, Drew, but you said it, he's totally inaccurate. He's inaccurate in his current form of not being trusted or surrounded with talent in both of the homes that he's lived in. He literally had an offense sculpted and molded like a vehicle built perfectly for the size of Russell Wilson. And then he was asked to get in this smaller vehicle and man it for him without the confidence of the coaching staff saying, you can earn this job. It's literally how long until they rip it from you, no matter how good you do. We're going to hand the Russell Wilson offense back to Russell Wilson. It was never a Justin Fields offense. Hence why he couldn't connect with Pickens, because the offense wasn't even designed for him. All he did was ask him to run and do plays that the guy couldn't even construct his own offense. And so you look back to Chicago, he rarely at any point had enough talent to say, oh, I can judge who this is. So people can judge Fields for all they want, but anybody that says he's not good, or you're coming to a conclusion about a player that has not even been repaired yet, Dable could repair him. I don't know that he'll find a Dable. Maybe he doesn't go to an environment like that, and then therefore he won't get fixed. But I love how everybody draws these conclusions about him as if, his story's already told. It's wild to me. Running back. I'm going to time out here. Yep, I timed out. Did I do it? Damn it. Roshan Johnson, son of a B. That sucks because my next pick I have queued as an RB, and I don't know. Let me see what my balance looks like to the tune that Tebow calls it. So positional numbers. I guess I could. I'm not going to go another RB. Damn it. There's a guy I wanted. I kind of need a receiver and a tight end. So, all right. One final phone caller we'll throw on here with Travis before I bump both of you off. Call in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Get down. Dog dropping the $10. Superflex Dynasty.
No talk from Sookdog.
We have the 1.2, 1.3, and the 2.2. Need a QB. Is Ward legit? He sure is. I think he is. But the thing is, who's your quarterback? Who's the 2.2 steal? I could tell you names now, but the landing spots, if they're really that good, like they're as good as I say they are, and they get drafted into a great spot, their values are going to go up, so they won't be at 2.2. So hard to say. Like Scattaboo right now is like lingering around 1.9 to 2.2. Like it's not going to happen if he goes to a great spot. He'll be a top 5 pick. I think Dylan Sampson makes a lot of sense. I think Travion Henderson right now would be in that realm, but all these guys go up tremendously in value once they hit landing spots. So I don't know about the 2.2. It's a little far away. I think the 1.2 and 1.3, assuming Gentry's gone, it depends on your quarterbacks who you didn't say. So
he's got Tua, Carr, and Rattler.
Yeah, you got to go one of those quarterbacks. So I'd probably go Cam Ward, and probably Ted McMillan. Although, like Egbuka, let's see where he goes. I wouldn't be crazy. I wouldn't call. First of all, can you trade a future first rounder to turn the 1.2 into 1.1? Go get Gentry if you can. This is not a time to be bashful about trying to get Gentry. Do anything you can to get Gentry. But I think right now Ted McMillan and Cam Ward are probably your 2 picks. But I very much love Scattaboo if you need an RB. Scattaboo could be good. I would definitely trade the 1.1, the 1.2. I would give, depending on like, does he have a quarterback like Fields you could go after? That'd be ironic if he has Fields, because like, would I give up the 1.2 and 1.3 for Fields and Gentry? I would. Like something like that. And if not a future first rounder, keep the 1.3. Then you get, Ted McMillan anyway. Or you could get Egbuka or Scattaboo or whatever. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I can't believe Smitty likes Fields. I can't believe you don't like Fields, Emmanuel. How's that? Chew on that. I can't believe I have a channel where I do this for a living and make big calls, and I have a differing opinion that maybe is ahead of the curve or different than the average cookie cutter type content, Emmanuel. Wild, isn't it? It's wild how that works. Not to mention, Fields is 4-2, 3-0 against playoff teams, and people are still crying and complaining about him without any sort of direction or good, proper coaching. No coaching at all. Didn't have coaching in Chicago. Had the worst coaching, worst organization, worst GM. Everything about Fields' situation was god-awful in Chicago. He goes to Pittsburgh where it might have been worse. It might have been worse for him. Here's the team. JD5, Penix Jr., Aaron Rodgers, McCaffrey, Kyron, ETN, Charbonnet, Bigsby, Corum, Roshan, who I timed out on. And normally I do not take McCaffrey, but this is the 1 in 20th that I'm going to do it. Lamb, DK, Godwin, Whittington, Yoshi Voss, AD Mitchell, Jalen Naylor, Jonu Smith, Evan Ingram, and Shiga Khan. I'm not even showing my screen. What am I doing? Jonu Smith, Evan Ingram, Shiga Konkwo, CD, DK, Godwin, Whittington, Yoshi Voss, AD Mitchell, Naylor, Christian McCaffrey, Kyron, ETN, Charbonnet, Tank Bigsby, Blake Corum, Roshan, and then JD5, Penix, and Rodgers. Pretty good team. Pretty good team. Yeah, Ron, I don't know where Ron's been lately. He's definitely taken off a lot of. You know, he took some time off, I think. This was kind of his, full-time job was being on this channel whenever we were live, and I think he's taking some time off. He's taking a hiatus. Call it Ronman's comp. I don't know where he's been. All right, any final phone calls before we get out of here? Caps, appreciate you. Other channels are copying and pasting the same opinions. Smitty thinks outside the box and is accurate. Thank you, Caps. Appreciate you. It's okay. We're always going to have haters, and I'm not afraid to put their comments, their ridiculous comments on screen when they think they're coming at me. And they first of all, they think sometimes just find the channel and they think I'm some newbie. Chris, let's see what Chris, why is it even being suggested by Soap Dog, who is a stand-up person on this channel, who I'm going to take his word for what he's saying. And what are you saying about him? Let's see. Soap Dog salty that he lost 2 championships this year. Still tough on his ego, but for $10, I'll take the lap out of respect for the commish. Been hard on him. I hope you guys are just playing around. Maybe? Yeah, but maybe it's just banter. I don't know. Maybe it's banter. Shots fired, says Soap Dog. You guys good, or is this like a real beef? Drew, you can call in real quick, like I've been saying for 15 minutes. Is this a real beef, Soap Dog, or is this kind of banter? Drew from Green Bay. Is this Drew?
Yeah, it's Drew.
Drew D. What's up, Drew?
I wanted to call and talk about the Tush push and how the Packers are trying to get it banned, and just like, what do you think that would be, the impact of that would be on some of these quarterbacks that get a lot of touchdowns out of it?
I think it's a crybaby attack and approach. Here's the thing. Nobody was complaining about this until a team used the rules, the confines of the rules, and they got really good at it to the point where other teams couldn't replicate it, and now everyone's crying like little babies. And the most common response I get, not in a live stream or not in a phone call where someone's going to call in and debate me on it or argue about it, is in a comment later, where they comment later, keyboard warrior, and they say, it should have been banned, 2 years ago. It should have never been a part of this. This is not rugby. And they'll have some comment that I really don't care about and I don't read, to be honest with you. As soon as I see it, I just move on. Really don't care. The bottom line is...
Do you think that hurts?
Hold on.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The bottom line is this team perfected a maneuver that's in the confines of the rules. And because they did it exceptionally well, to where no one can stop them, you're going to cry to the commissioner and cry to the league to try and change it because you can't do it. This is very similar to the fantasy football takes that everybody had, like whiny little babies when Taysom Hill became a quarterback when he was tight end eligible. And everybody cried and complained to their mama and wanted a juice box and a pacifier and changed their diaper because they didn't think of it. Well, you know what? On this channel, we did think of it. And all that entire offseason, I told everyone to go get Taysom Hill because he is quarterback and tight end eligible and he might start a game or two. And Taysom Hill went right into the lineup as the quarterback And people that had Taysom Hill were winning leagues because he was a tight end that was playing quarterback and scoring an insane amount of points. And everybody cried and complained and got their juice boxes out, emailed ESPN. And you know what? It worked. Why? Because only one person in every league had Taysom Hill. So 11 other people that couldn't take accountability for themselves cried and complained and moaned to ESPN, and it looked like an overwhelming decision that they had to make because 11 out of 12 people in every single league were mad and bent out of shape. That's what this feels like to me. 31 other teams. There's a couple teams that do it well, but in general, 31 teams don't know how to do this, can't replicate it, so they're crying like babies. And the fan bases are going to do the same thing because it's unfair to watch a team win the Super Bowl and your team can't do it. You're going to cry and complain.
But how do you, in terms of like fantasy football, if it were to get banned, like how would you think that would affect
Fair question.
Hurts's value?
That's probably what you were asking initially.
Does it at all?
I just went. It definitely can affect Hurts a little bit. I think what you'll find though, bro, just like anything, any rule change, especially when it's like a slight rule change, is he'll still be rushing in touchdowns. He just won't be doing it quite as much and in the same style. And Sirianni's the kind of guy that will figure out what can I exactly get away with. What can you not push? Like what is the compromise here? And Jalen Hurts rushing it from the 3-yard line might not happen as much, and Barkley gets some of those touchdowns, sure. Or, Jalen Hurts runs a bootleg, or Jalen Hurts throws a few more of those touchdowns in. Who's to say that he doesn't convert the altered play that they then perform because of that change? The commissioner already addressed this a year ago, I believe, though. I believe that this was potentially in the works, and it got denied, if I remember correctly. So I don't know that this would be such a coward move by everybody. Team wins the Super Bowl, and you immediately let's take away their best play because we don't know how to do it. Josh Allen's probably if you would have told me, I don't know, 4 years ago before the tush push was even really a thing, 5 years ago, who's going to be better at it, Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen? I would have said Josh Allen by a country mile. But they can't even replicate it. They don't know how to replicate it. They can't even, re-engineer it. It's crazy. Part of it is Jalen Hurts is the thigh strength of a freaking, elephant. But
just so people don't hate on my Packers too much, I'll defend them a little bit. From what I heard, because I live in Green Bay, I hear a lot of things. I literally talked to Mark Murphy this week. So basically, we're transitioning from Mark Murphy being the president to Ed Policy. And from what was rumored is that even though Mark Murphy wants it banned and he doesn't like it at all, he's not the one that actually brought it forward. Neither is Brian Gutekunst, the GM. It's actually Ed Policy is rumored to have brought it. However, he only brought it because other teams wanted it brought forward.
Of course they do.
They were too scared to bring it forward, so he brought it forward for them, basically.
Well, my dry cleaner basically said that their cousin's uncle's stepbrother didn't like it either.
No. I talked to Mark Murphy this week. I'm live in Green Bay. I talk to actual people here.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
The thing is, we don't have an owner, so we don't have to worry about the blowback. If another owner gets some blowback, how that could affect their franchise.
Yeah, but I don't even care about who. I don't care about. I'm not even singling out the Packers necessarily. Obviously they're the team that initiated it, but it's the entire league that probably feels this way because they can't do it. That's my whole point. Now it is kind of cowardly. It is kind of cowardly, though.
We called it.
What?
And then we had the love shove, and then we turned it into he got hurt, so we stopped doing it with love and did it with Tucker Kraft. So we actually do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is the offense.
I don't know about that. I don't know if you could actually call this version of the tush push. No one does it like the Eagles, man. There's no love.
There's only
love shove. There's no Kraft.
He's the only quarterback that does it. That can squat 500 pounds.
I hear you, but it is a little bit of a cowardly move by the Packers to initiate it, regardless of who did it. I don't care if it's the punter that had, connections with the dry cleaner's kid's uncle. I truly believe that maybe half the teams would, if they didn't think the Packers were going to do it, they would initiate it themselves, and maybe they were going to. I don't know.
I will say, though, if you look at the history of the rules, the rules were changed where you couldn't push, an offensive player couldn't push a ball carrier, and then they were changed to allow it. So that did allow this play to become legal when it historically would have been banned.
So?
And defensive players can't do the same thing. So unless you're going to legalize it for the defensive players to do too.
But this is a total, no offense, but this is a total, what's the best word I can put it? Because I'm not meaning this to you, okay? I don't want you to think I'm saying anything bad about you.
I don't get offended.
But this is such a weasel way to explain why they should undo a rule after it's been sitting there for how many years now? Because of what? Because one day it wasn't. So now that it works for somebody and somebody's dominating with it, we should go back to when they weren't able to dominate it, because at one point historically this wasn't a thing. It doesn't matter. There was a reason the NFL allowed it to begin with. And regardless, everyone's playing within the same confines of the rules, and everyone's been trying to replicate it. And kind of weird. If you can't do it, all of a sudden you want to get rid of it. And if the craft shove was so popular and worked so well, you guys would probably keep it too.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a word if they could do it.
I just think it's very weasel-like. Not of you. Again, not of you.
I mean, it didn't change that long ago. It changed maybe 15 years ago or something.
It's still a weasel approach, bro. It's like, well, if it was cemented in for 10 years, then it should stay. You're basically saying a rule that you did not think was a bad change now must be changed because it doesn't work for everybody else. It's within the confines of the rules.
Rule change should have been protested immediately if people were so upset about it.
It was.
However far back.
The Packers did.
No, but the Packers complained.
The Packers just complained then, I guess.
Yeah, I think we actually do like the game not to change. I think we're a conservative organization. So, whenever there's changes, we almost always, object to them. We objected to the special teams kickoff. We didn't want that.
You guys don't change much at all. You had two quarterbacks for about 20 years. So, what?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, gotta go, Drew. Appreciate you. None of those words were meant to you. Just your buddy. Just kidding.
All right. Bye.
Later. 856 caller. Thank you for your patience. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Manuel Zorg, and I'm calling right outside of Philly.
What's up, Manuel?
Nothing much. I enjoy the content. I know we have disagreements and everything else. On the Tush push thing, there's a reason why. I don't think it was just the Packers. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was the Redskins had a big hand in it, getting 7 rushing touchdowns on them. I want to say that they definitely had a hand in it, whether it was quiet or not. But regardless, again, it can't be replicated. I think it's a joke at this point. And yeah, I mean, but on the Fields thing, I definitely have to have contention because 17-33 as a starter. Your only reasoning for wanting him to go to the Giants is because, maybe at the end of the year he had a 4-2 run. You know what I mean? Hurts in 2023 finished the season 1-6. 1-6. So basically, he had a bad stretch. So were the Eagles supposed to give up on him or win the Super Bowl with him the next year? But just because he had went 4-2 in Pittsburgh, I think that's just, dude, 17-33, man. You see his mechanics. I think he's a joke.
Like I said from the jump, bro, you can't even judge his past on him. He's been stuck in 2 horrible situations, one of which he made the best of and was 4-2 and earned the job. And his coach decided, I'm going to go with Russell Wilson when every sports commentator, every person known to man that had intelligence at all in the game of football was saying in public, on social media, in videos, in whatever, that Fields earned the job. What are you doing? And Russell comes out, wins one game, and everybody thinks Tomlin's a genius. He's even, whoever the hell, I forget who interviewed him. There was a female reporter that interviewed him, and then there was someone said it was Brandon Marshall as well. But there was another reporter that said, how did you know, Tomlin? And he's like, that's where I get paid the big bucks. And it was a debacle. It was a debacle. But here's the thing. The thing that you and I, like I said from the beginning, you called in and said all this stuff is completely just, I stepped aside of it. I didn't even puncture my armor. Because you and I are coming from two completely different places. We're never going to have the same argument. Fields is not even tapped into his potential. You think he is. That's it. That's as far as we can even go. Because you don't believe otherwise. And you're going to sit there and argue why you think I should know that by now. And how do I even think Fields is? You think Fields is not good. I think Fields could be remarkable. I think Fields is broken right now. Hold on. I let you talk. Hold on. I let you talk. I'm going to finish. The difference is Fields has not been in a situation where he's been surrounded by talent and given the keys at the same time. He finally got the talent in Pittsburgh, but they didn't give him the keys to the lineup, bro. They constructed an offense all around Russell Wilson. Like Russell Wilson wears a size probably 10 shoe because he's about 5'4". He's taller than that, but barely. Fields is a 6 foot, what is he, 6'3", 6'2.5", 6'3"? He's a monster, okay? So you're like asking this man to wear Russell Wilson's shoes and drive Russell Wilson's itty-bitty Mazda, okay? Fields needs to be driving a truck. And this entire offense was constructed around Russell Wilson. He was never given a proper shot in Philly or in Pittsburgh to create his own situation and to thrive and be catered and cultivated. So there's nothing in Pittsburgh that helped him grow, and he was broken. He was broken from his days in Chicago when Ryan Poles, the worst GM in the league next to maybe Jerry Jones and Joe Scheinbach's. This guy rips all the meat off the bone, sends Fields out there thrown to janitors for an entire season. Fields rips off 1,100 rushing yards. Tears, I believe it was he had a knee injury. I don't know if it was a PCL. I forget what it was. But he had a knee injury. He was playing injured. He was doing his best, putting the entire team on his shoulders. And he had a remarkable rushing season. 1,100 yards, plus yards. And he couldn't do anything else because he had no wide receivers. You can't judge his record off of having nobody in a Mickey Mouse organization like the Chicago Bears that aren't serious people about football at all and judge him based on that. And he goes and gets handcuffed in Pittsburgh, and all the while he's been broken. Dable's a great example of a coach that could take a player that everyone says what you're saying about Fields. He's inaccurate. He's garbage. All he can do is run. That's what Josh Allen was. Coming out of Josh Allen's rookie year, he couldn't throw worth a lick to anybody. This was a garbage passer, and Dable fixed him. You send Fields to Dable, he'll turn Justin Fields into Lamar Jackson's passing capabilities. Whereas Lamar's been like this, right? He's been a great running quarterback, but then he can throw good some years. This year, he's really good throwing the ball. But Lamar's been up and down, and Fields has the potential to be a very good passer if he's given the right coach. But I will say this. If Fields doesn't go to get repaired, you're never going to know because he will fail out of the NFL. It's not a question of if, it's when, if he doesn't get the right coach.
So basically you're in agreement. He's basically a backup quarterback until he's put in the exact right position.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Go ahead.
I didn't say that. I didn't say he's a... That's like saying, I mean, any player is a backup until they're put in a starting job. And, like, could he go somewhere where the coach is in Dable and still play good football? Yeah, he could. Dable's not the only one that can repair him. Dable would repair him to ground zero. This guy could definitely make him the best he could be. I think there are other coaches in situations. You send him an LV, he's definitely going to get repaired in LV. There's a lot of places he could go. In fact, every place Fields probably could and would go is a great place for him to repair himself. I just think you're going to have a quicker turnaround and a little bit better of a repair job if you went to Dable, because he's getting Dable, who brought Josh Allen from 0 to hero in no time, and you're also giving him Malik Nabers. The thing is, you don't agree with the premise of this, and that's fine. But you trying to argue with me is like trying to argue politics with a Republican and a Democrat. It's like we're not even seeing eye to eye at the beginning. So anything you say is not going to do anything.
You're a big fan of JD5, right?
Am I a big fan? I conduct the JD5 train. Thank you very much.
So here we go. Is Washington a good organization?
Yes.
Is Washington a good organization?
Yes. I said yes.
How? Yeah, how is Washington
They have
organization? They just had a whole remake.
Are you listening to anything that I say ever, or are you a brand new follower? If it is, it's
I'm a
okay.
brand new follower.
Okay. I've been on the Washington Commander train from the beginning of the offseason, of last offseason. Right. This thing is getting turned around in a millisecond, is what I said. You bring in Are you going to let me talk, Emmanuel? Are you going to ask me questions and then not want me to answer? Because I'm trying to answer for you.
You misunderstood me. That's my point.
I don't think I did. You asked me, do I think Washington is a good organization?
But the point was because JD5 stepped in there and he changed the entire franchise as the quarterback. Now, if he was as talented, if Fields was as talented as you say he was, would he or would he not have been able to step into Chicago?
I'm not.
And done something at least similar.
First of all, your argument is weird because who is suggesting that Fields is ever going to be JD5? JD5 is the number. JD5 is the number one quarterback, probably in the National Football League going forward, and that's something that you heard. You would have, if you were on this channel then, you would have heard it this time last year. As I said it to everybody over and over, JD5, he's too small, he's going to get hurt. Watch, top 1 to 5 quarterback, here we come. Adam Peters, maybe the best GM, top 2 or 3 GM in football. No argument to be made there. You ask me if Washington's a good organization, a good front office, a good team, they've got one of the top GMs in the National Football League.
Only until JD5 stepped through the door. Before that, they were.
He drafted JD5. Oh, this is.
I'm sorry.
It's new ownership, new GM.
No, bro. I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
Front office and Adam Peters and the coaching.
Finish him.
Levels above what the Bears have in the field.
Unreal.
And Dan Quinn.
Unreal. He's saying JD5 now made Adam Peters. That's crazy. These are two amazing individuals for their respective positions. Adam Peters is a top 1 to 3 GM in the National Football League. JD5's a top 1 to 3 quarterback in the National Football League. And to think Adam Peters tripped and fell into drafting JD5 when the whole world was telling everybody Caleb's the number 1 and JD5, this Adam Peters saying, nope, even if Adam Peters was drafted 1, watch what he would have done. All right. Anything else from either Travis or Rockout?
No, I'm all set, Smitty. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Rockout, you out of here?
I was going to say, as far as the tush push, I think it should stay just because nobody else is as effective as the Eagles doesn't mean they should change it. And they try to bring up safety concerns. You could argue it's more a safe risk for the Eagles to do it because Jason Kelce talked about he dreads doing that play, but it's the play they want to do.
Yeah. All right, rock out to the moon. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, cool.
Later. Super chats here. We have Soap Dog says Superflex Dynasty. Tech going to Mars. Already answered all that, I think. Soap Dog says, Smitty, we have room for you at the Green Bay draft. What's that mean? We have room for you at the Green Bay draft. What's that regarding, Soap Dog? Oh, just in your buddy league? Yeah, I wish I could make it, bro, but appreciate that. $10 hauler from Coble. Wanted to thank you for the awesome year, Smitty. Grateful to have stumbled across your channel. I was full up during the season, but I'll be an off-season warrior to get back to doing it live. The off-season is better than any season. We have so much fun doing this, and we call so many damn things early. It's fun. It's fun to have calls like that, too, because you get to see what I deal with from people. Like, remember how many people would call in like this about Achan? You know, how many times people calling about JD5? And now all of a sudden, JD5 is this foregone conclusion. Like, everybody knows that. Like, Adam Peters was lucky he got JD5. It's just wild to me. The JD5 haters, you won't hear another one of them. Everyone's going to act like they were all over JD5. He's a number 2 over a pick. Like, of course he was good. Everyone knew that. Yeah. He was going to get hurt. Didn't bring a lot of ability to throw the ball at the NFL level. He's going to get hammered and destroyed. And for that caller to act like the Washington Commanders are a bad organization, what world is he living in? What world are you living in when you don't acknowledge that the Washington Commanders are one of the most quickly turned around franchises from top to bottom? Ownership, GM, coaching, the team. I mean, what more could you want out of an organization? And you don't acknowledge that this is one of the most up-and-coming best organizations in football? Get rid of the owner, and boom, that's all it took? And you're going to say, do you think that the Washington Commanders are good? And I say, yeah. And he's like, what? What? Tyler, this wasn't a thing until they realized Hurts can squat 600 pounds. So can Barkley, though. All right. I'll see you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Underdog promo code Smitty. Link in the description. Link in the live chat pinned. Code Smitty gets it done as well. Go play Underdog. Appreciate you all. And on that note, I leave you with the new Nabers drop, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen it, here it is.
In a distant galaxy far away, a planet called Neighboron had an extinction-level event which caused utter collapse. One pod escaped containing a young boy, the last of his kind. Drifting off course after an asteroid shower encounter, the pod found its way into Earth's orbit and crash-landed on a small farm. On this farm, the young boy lived a normal and hidden life. Until his powers became evident and his mission and purpose became clear. His name was to be Nabers after his home planet. He would comb the earth looking to save all that needed his help. At first, Nabers was keeping up with all who needed his help, but he couldn't do it alone. He needed a sidekick to truly become invincible and turn into a supernova.
And with the 3rd overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select
neighbor.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Imagine still hating on Washington. That's unreal. I didn't think we'd see that. I didn't think there anybody that doubted Washington would dare. Literally, he almost went to the Super Bowl as a rookie quarterback. As a GM, a rookie GM and rookie quarterback, almost going to the bowl. Almost going to the bowl. Unbelievable. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Smitty, Washington only had one good year. I don't understand why you think they're a good organization, Smitty. We broke the megaphone, by the way. It looks like it hurts. Smitty, I don't understand. Washington has only had one solid year. I don't get why you think this is a good organization. Doesn't make sense.